Look at him. He's just dickered. Just dickered, boys. Son of a bitch.
Yo, yo. Class A, and macro. Not connected, not elected to participate. Bouncing down the stems will make your head hurt. Enjoy the takes. Says her whose head burns.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Take Her Wide. This is 213. Episodes are brought to you by DaveLovettPhotography.ca. Dave is a friend from Cambridge here, and if this is your first time listening, I'll just do the spiel really quick. If not, you guys probably know this by heart. I've known Dave forever. He has done promos and music videos and websites for all the bands and stuff that I've been in. And he does good work, and he is the biggest supporter of this podcast since day one. From the first show, he helped me out. So all love to Dave forever. Go to DaveLovettPhotography.ca and go check it out. Just go to Facebook and like it if you can. Follow him on Instagram. I believe it's just Dave Levitt Photography. Just go show him some love. Dave's the great dude, and I love him dearly. So go show Dave some love. Sorry. Also brought to you by Dapper Beard Oil. That is a beard oil made with 100% natural ingredients. My friend Andrew makes it. He's out in Ottawa. It's ethically sourced. It helps hydrate and repair. It's antibacterial. It reduces beard dandruff. He has a couple of brands. He has the Gold Tusk, the Black Tusk No. 2, and the Scent Free. And he's seen press in GQ and CBC, Huffington Post. And it's exciting to think that a guy can make a business out of his basement, and I've seen it grow, and he's on board to help this show. So if you hit pause and check your description, you'll be able to go to dapperbeardoil.com and just peruse or browse, take a look. And if you use promo code TakerWide free ship, you'll get free shipping on your order. So I don't know, go try it out. Dapperbeardoil.com. Also brought to you by Kevin Rigo at Hefner Toyota in Kitchener. Kevin is an old friend, old friend, and I was the best man in his wedding. And I've known this guy forever, and he is supporting this show, so I want to try to help support him. I'm not sure who out there listens is in the market for a car, or used car, new car, but I don't know what that's like, and I hope to one day have the money to be able to trust someone when making a purchase like that. Kevin is an honest man. He's a hardworking dude, family man. And if you're out that way in Kitchener, swing by and maybe talk to Rigo, Kevin, and see how he can help you out with a purchase of a car. All love to Kevin. I think his description's in the bio, or in the his bio, or his Facebook page is in the description of the show. So go like his page, say hi, literally just type a hi or something, and show him some love. Kevin Rigo at Hefner Toyota in Kitchener. And lastly, two more. I'll get through these. Wellington Brewery in Guelph. Wellington Brewery is Canada's oldest microbrewery, I believe. And they support the show by giving us beers. And if you guys are out and about and want to support them, you can easily grab a beer. You can easily grab a beer and support them. And they're doing something really, really rad right now. I'm actually sipping on a Grisette. Let me just pull it out of the beer koozie. Queen of Craft Grisette. I'm not sure. It is a traditional farmhouse style table beer. I'm just going to read the little blurb that they gave me. It's on the side of the can. It is seasonable. Grisette was brewed by the Queen of Craft using 100% Ontario hops, generously donated by Clear Valley Hops. And the dopest thing about this is that 25 cents from each can sold will be donated to Guelph Wellington Women in Crisis. So get a beer and help support a good cause. Wellington's doing rad things in that, and a little bit by helping me have some drinks. So all love to them. Lastly, last one, I promise. Jeez. Ironclad Graphics. Okay, so Ironclad Graphics are the printing guys that we go through all the time for our shirts. Grubert, Sabatini. It's a custom screen printing company in Kingston. Now, that seems like, oh, it's far away, why wouldn't you go local? But even when he ships, it's still fucking affordable. It's still competitive, and it's good quality shit. He's been doing it for fucking ever, man. I remember, I think he still has it up in the shop. There's an old Tugnut Fuck the Facts flyer that he silk screened from way the fuck back, like way back. But they do shirts, posters, stickers, baseball hats, toques, any sort of merchandise, beer koozies. They ship coast to coast. And if you mention the podcast just in your order, he'll take $25 off, which is pretty much like the cost of the setup, I think, or the screen. But save some money. Go check that out. So that's all. Those are all the sponsors. All love to them. So for this episode 213, I'm talking to James from BISON. James was on episode 110 or something. I don't know. A while back. And since then, he's had 2 kids. The new BISON record came out, and I'm excited to talk to him. I really look up to those guys. Their whole run with being on Metal Blade and then getting dropped, and they easily could have stopped. And once you start a family, it definitely gets harder, but they're fucking grinding. They released the new record. They're going to Europe. And just when I say like I'm old, like those guys are older than me, so I always feel like I need to check myself by dropping that. Not that they're old men, but they're definitely veterans in the scene. So I'm excited to sit down with James. We're going to talk, shoot the shit. And this is the longest intro ever, but here we go. This is 213 with James. I like your no give up attitude.
Well, you know what? Ever since I moved to Squamish, nobody gives a fuck about me anymore, and no one wants to talk to me. So when I got a friend who still wants to talk to me, that's awesome. I feel like very special.
You're a special guy, buddy. I honestly thought you were I was thinking like, fuck, because it is like, hey man, come on my show. And I was thinking like, I get it, man. You're busy. I totally get it. And I would love you all the same if you were like, you know what? I'm too busy. It's like totally cool. Totally cool. It's like a dream. It's actually happening.
It is.
Fuck, man. I listened back to that first one we did with Muskie. And
that was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. I can listen back though and hear my hesitation and hear my sort of still greenness with it, even though it was like episode whatever 100 something like that. But yeah, man.
But now you're fucking pro.
Now I'm pro. I actually have sponsors now too. People are helping me.
That's fucking cool.
It is cool, man. People are helping cover the bills a little bit. I just gotta check my phone here.
I totally dig that. I want to do a podcast.
You should, man.
I was thinking you know what I'm gonna do? I'm going to do a wide-scale interview of some of my close musician friends, and I'm going to ask them, I guess, like music-related questions and industry-related questions, but make it more interesting, because I'm a fucking interesting person.
Well, your friends are.
With
that's
a new, if not, a little bit of a negative view of things.
You have experience.
It's always
man.
entertaining.
Yeah. I think your take would be good. There's I kind of wish when I was a younger kid I had something like this to listen to, just to even hear stories and hear kind of like, do this or don't do this or be aware of this. Like, I think you're more schooled in it than I am. You were with a bigger label and like you had like booking agents and shit. So
yeah. More schooled on the garbage side of it, but you know how to enjoy your craft, and you know all the good parts of it. So there you go.
How is it for you now, though, man? Like, I feel good. I haven't had to dump any money into my band for maybe like a year and a half, which is a huge success.
That's a huge success because it takes, it's about, you have to do it 12 times that long before you can finally not dump all of your fucking savings into a
which is a big question for you guys, like 2 kids in a normal sort of life. Is it like, how do you guys fund it? Is it still you guys have to throw at it yourselves?
No,
eh?
I can't afford to do that.
I can't either.
I've got 2 kids.
Yeah, you're crazy. You're a wild man.
The young one is now eating real food.
Whew.
So all of my money goes to food and gasoline because I've become one of these people who drive the car all the fucking time.
Well, you have to, right?
I
You
work-
work
I
still in
work in
van.
Vancouver. Yeah. So I've become one of those people, quite by accident. So gasoline is really expensive.
What is gas out there?
Oh God, it's like almost $1.50 or something.
What? Are you serious?
It's $1.43.9 here, and in Vancouver it was like $1.46.
Oh man, that's fucked.
Hey, you know what? Just like the license plate says, buddy, best place on earth.
With an asterisk, except for the gas price.
Yeah, except for the gas prices, the housing crisis,
Ugh.
the opioid crisis, the corrupt government, the fucking racism, go on and on.
How is Squamish, man?
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's the smartest thing I've ever done was to move my family up here.
When did you move there? Did you guys have the youngest?
Yeah, the youngest was born up here,
Okay.
so he's a real Squamite.
Squamite.
I think that's what it's called.
It is now.
I had the biggest compliment the other day. I do this ride share thing.
Uh-huh.
So you join this like online kind of community of commuters. It's called Papa Ride or something.
Okay.
And you just put your driving schedule, and people will just jump in the car, and it's like $8 a trip. So it's not like you're making a ton of money. It's just to kind of subsidize your trip a bit.
Uh-huh.
But I do it a lot, so it pays for about half my gas.
Fuck, man, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's like saving my ass a bit. But anyway, I was driving this one woman back from Vancouver, and most people are really great and want to chat and part of this whole thing was me trying to be like, I like people. I want to have positive interactions with strangers because, as you may not know, like I don't fucking like people. I don't want to. I don't want to fucking talk to people.
I hear you, man. I hear you 100%.
Don't want anything to do with them. So this is like my exercise of further, perhaps joining society a little bit more in the interest of my children, because eventually one day I'm going to have to meet their parents or their teacher or their whoever.
Yeah.
But this one woman she's like, "Wow, you're such a Squamite." And I was like, "Really?" Because I've only lived in Squamish for 3 years. She's like, "Oh, you're like a Squamite."
Very Squamish-ish.
Very Squamish-ish.
That's cool, man. Well, shit, because and really for prepping for this, dude, I just listened to a bunch of interviews and stuff, and just kind of wanted to be more prepped than last time, and that was a big point in a lot of it was the kind of peace you got from moving away from Van and feeling settled in Squamish. I don't think I've ever been to Squamish. The pictures look nice.
Well, Muskie came up. We had a great fire in my backyard and drank about 100 beers. It's fun. It's relaxing. It's nice. It smells good.
How big is Squamish? Like 100,000?
It's like about 15,000 people.
Oh, wow.
Maybe a bit more, but it's becoming the new cool place to move from Vancouver. Because I moved up here. So everyone wants to come up here.
Yeah. And I believe you, man. It'll have a sign as you enter Squamish, like home of James from Bison.
Yes, exactly.
That you didn't.
Talking to city council right now.
Yeah, that you didn't put up yourself.
Yeah, just like a drunk spray paint on a sheet, just threw it over the
spelled wrongly. 2 N's in Bison. But yeah, the move was it just seems crazy expensive in Van, and just back to the whole money thing. You can't dump money into your band. Like, you guys survive out there. Like, because with the 2 kids, Stacy's at home, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One day she'll fucking go back to work, and it'll feel like we won the fucking lottery.
Jesus, eh?
Oh, as soon as Charlie doesn't need that fucking boob anymore, she's gonna work, and we're all of a sudden seriously, it's gonna feel like we fucking won the lottery.
Crazy, man.
One income this time, one income. It's insane. We're so poor, man. It's bananas.
Man, I just like you're so in the middle of it, but you're putting the work in, and I think a lot of people are afraid of that type of work because you're like in the kiln right now, but you see that there's some pressure to be relieved. But I don't really know what it's like to be in your shoes with one income, and kind of like I live my life, and we sometimes sort of suffocate from the bills and stuff. But
Yeah.
like you're really having a go at it, man. It's really commendable to like being a musician and having a family and giving up the freedoms and it's for your kids, man. Like you're struggling
Absolutely.
and being poor and like making sacrifices, and that's one thing that you don't really understand until you have one or Jesus Christ two. Like I have one and I stress out about one, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I could go on record and say don't have another one. I will, I'll go on record saying that. I mean, it's by no means Charlie is like a fucking truly angel. Like he's just the opposite of George. So it's a real kind of fucking yang we needed, so to speak.
Well, shit, dude, I was messaging you about it, like just having a second one. Like, I'm really torn. I really don't know. I'll never know.
So the thing is, it's just like one is difficult, but two is a real test, and it's a real test not only of yourself, but it's like your relationship with your woman. It's just me and Stacy have been through all kinds of like fucking garbage.
I'm sure.
And a weaker couple would have just thrown the fucking towel in by now. All it has done is made us better people, and we can laugh at anything now. Nothing will bring me down, ever.
That's such a risk, right? Because you have two, but it's like it could ruin everything. Mm-hmm. That's my big fear.
Oh, it could have, yeah. There were times where I was so much regret, and that's like what's the worst feeling is probably regret, I think. Like, regret heavy shit that you cannot really easily change. Like, regret is the worst, right? So,
well, that's a thing I worry about, having that regret as an older man. Like, when I'm like, well, now it all means nothing. I should have just fucking sucked it up. And
yeah.
Because I have a thought in my head of him being alone and me and Viv being dead.
Yeah.
And that's a terrible thought.
Terrible. Oh yeah, you could get some pretty dark places when you're really like really checking out your life and the choices that you've made that brings you to this moment.
I know.
Heavy shit.
It is. But you fucking seem so like, again, listening to those interviews, like just so much happier, like moving to Squamish, and you're still like,
absolutely.
You're not. I had a question. I wrote questions. One of them was like, I know where I'm getting to here. It's under the title Dad Stuff.
It's good. I like it. I'm like an expert by now.
3-4 years in. How old is Charlie? No, George is 3.
George is 3.
Yeah.
Charlie's 1.
It's a question of like people selling themselves short of joy and happiness, and why. Like, you have a family and you have a band, and it's a risk you take to achieve that. But I see music dudes who just like, fuck it, I'm not gonna do it, or people who just can't, or people who have 9-to-5s who never really stretched out and did something else.
Because it's difficult juggling everything.
Yeah, it's super, super hard.
You do it. You're very active with your band. Like it's you're. I always see you guys are playing shows. I mean, it's regional, right? But you're still doing a lot of like little mini tours around. You have that luck where your area, you can go on these little mini tours and hit like. It's just out here, we're fucked, right? You go to, you play Vancouver and Victoria, and that's about it.
Do you think that people, like, I just wonder, like, because I'm like, wow, I have the best of both worlds, and I wish everyone else could experience that. Now, I know it's not as simple as just making that decision. You need to find a partner who's compatible and this and that.
So that's something we should talk about. So yeah, let's talk about that. So let's talk about my partner who knew that she was shacking up with a person that loved music, making music, writing music, and knew that that was something that wouldn't stop. It would make life more challenging, but it wasn't going to stop. So she's very, she's, really good to me. She knows that I got to do what I got to do. Yet she knows I would never let the family go without. Like, I would never take any, back in the day, like, you go out on tour for 6 months and, you come back with maybe enough to, like, cover, you can cover your rent while you're away and, like, fucking whatever.
Yeah.
But, it's not like that ever again. But she knows that I'm going to come back and not, like, say, like, oh, by the way, I had to pay our merch bill with our credit card.
Yeah.
We didn't sell any fucking hoodies, and now we're fucked, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So that's never going to happen.
But that's got to
pick and choose with, smarter, right?
That's got
Tour smarter.
Yeah, it's scary for, our partners both to be like, well, these... And I'll, be diminishing and say these losers don't have good careers and don't have a solid
prospects.
Yeah, but I'm gonna roll the dice with them because I know I'm not a piece of shit. I know I'm a good guy, but I definitely feel bad, man, when I'm taking off and doing my thing, and she's like, Viv's at home with one, and or you got this tour coming up, and Stacy will be home with two. Like
for like a fucking over a month.
How do you feel? What's your feeling on all this?
My feeling is I know that she's we're part of a family. So everyone's happiness and mental health is important. And I wouldn't do it if she wasn't able to handle it. So she says she can handle it and she's glad to do it. Because she knows it means a lot to me. We love each other. She loves me.
Yeah.
And it's going to be hard for her.
Yeah.
Because she already has this kind of, like, isolation in here. And when I say, like, no one comes up and visits us, like, I'm not joking. Like,
yeah.
We've isolated ourselves quite by accident. We're only an hour away from Vancouver. Mm-hmm. But our friends don't really make the trip up here.
Yeah. Oh, it makes sense, man.
And,
I don't see buddies here.
Like, whatever. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But she's, I get to go into Vancouver for work, where she's here with the kids, And I think for a parent or a primary caregiver, like whether it's the mom or dad, like I think that can build and build, and you can build resentment out of that.
Dude, totally.
But she doesn't, like obviously we have bad days, and she's like, fuck this, fuck you, fuck the kids, and I'm out of here. I'm gonna move to Mexico, so fuck off.
Yeah.
But you talk, and then you talk, and then you have an effective relationship where that stuff never gets too out of hand, right?
Yeah. It's very good, I think, to have.
You have So let me just say one thing. You have like your fucking storybook shit all over Facebook. Oh, here's my impossibly adorable son and my wonderful wife who's just beautiful, and we're so happy. Look at us. So like, I'm thinking like, those guys never fight. They never get into scraps. The kid never cries or shits all over anything or fucking shoves a fucking stick into the fucking VCR or whatever. Oh wait, what's a VCR? Never mind.
Well, that's that filter, right? Everyone's social
love
media.
Facebook for that.
Oh God,
I love it.
I try to not do it more and more because it is bullshit. It's this like fake sort of like this is the perfect little life, and I'm super lucky and blessed to have it.
Of course.
But I definitely struggle sometimes, man. With like I literally just got back from a little tour a month ago or something, and I'm like kind of starting to go crazy at home. And I feel bad because I love my son and I love my wife, but it's like...
bad, though. I mean, that's just something that you just have to learn to balance it, right? I mean, and you're a fucking grown-up and you knew what you're doing. Like, that's just something that we have to take care of our kids. This is the end of it, right? Maybe those cliche douchebags that I'm not, I'm a fucking rock and roller.
Yeah.
I like going on the road, and I like wild times, and I like very socially responsible drinking and drug use, and not even looking at other women, and all this type of things. But you know, first and foremost, now are my children, because what my children teach me, which was really important in my sort of I call it joining society. When I really sort of stopped my Peter Panning, I wanted to be selfless, to like a beautiful thing, and I'm not talking about selfless to like my art or my bandmates or whatever, right? I'm talking about like my future, and these children are like my future, and family is important, right? The road family everyone talks about. Oh man, I have so many brothers all over the fucking world. Yeah, but when it comes right down to it, are they really gonna fucking, you know what I mean? Like my wife and my children, they're there for me, man. Like I got all kinds of road families, and they're good for like, doing a bunch of coke with, but it's not really much more than that. You know what I mean? Like they're awesome, but it's not like, you know what I mean? Like,
I do know what you're saying, man. Well, even how it highlights. But there's moments where I have real peace that I never had before, where I'm just like, oh, I'm in a safe space, and I'm proud of myself, and I'm like surprised with this little future I've created. And again, it's not a perfect future, it's not a perfect scenario, but it's a moment of like, wow, why didn't I do this sooner, kind of, like. But again, it's like, well, I didn't know Viv, this and that, blah blah blah. But it really is the best of both worlds. I'm so glad I jumped into it, and with you, like you seem so cool with it. I guess a question I have too with like the tour coming up, because obviously we care about our kids, but touring, it's like an old part of you, right? It's an old, it defines you so much because you did it for more than half your life. And
music's not music unless you take it to people. Sorry, if you're not taking that out, there's really no point. You could sit in your room and write all the songs in the world. It doesn't really do it unless you show it to people, and they show it to people in person. That's what music is about.
What do you like? Expand on that, man. Like, is that like when you play?
I completely agree. I mean, I think once you take out a performing aspect of it, it becomes like it's like just a exercise or something, like, because for example, I write 1 million songs in my like hovel here. I wrote the last BISON record in here, but I also write 1 million songs that I'll like listen to because it's fucking hilarious, or because it's just I write a bunch of songs. No one else will hear those songs. Maybe after I'm dead. My kids will listen to it and be hilarious. But I mean, I write 1 million songs, and those songs, they're exercises, right?
I see.
And they stay that way because they sit in my hard drive and no one hears them. So it's like a song isn't a song unless someone fucking hears it and has an emotional reaction to it.
True.
And how do you get emotional reaction? Is you play it live in front of people. So I just think that if you are not playing your music in front of people, that intimacy, we're lucky. We get to be that intimate because our bands aren't like playing arenas and shit. We get to play, and people we can still spit on people. And, that kind of cool stuff.
Yeah.
So it's that. I mean, that's just the difference. I mean, music is meant to be experienced live. It's just the end of it.
Yeah. Oh man, for sure. I know what you're saying 100%. Do you when you're when you were talking about that, I was thinking about people who just write in their room and then put it on Bandcamp, and they might have like all these followers. But I personally get a lot of validation, and just kind of like, if I play a good set, it's
absolutely,
it's a feeling that as long as I can play, will continue to chase. Nothing feels better than ripping a good set.
Oh yeah.
And it sounds real cliche, but
I know.
I get.
That's why it's a cliche. It's because it's fucking true. What are cliches but like a mass of people that feel the same fucking thing?
It gives me, like, my family gives me a feeling that I've never felt before. The love my son gives me, my wife gives me.
Anchor. It's a fucking anchor.
And then a good set. And maybe because it harkens back to like just old versions of myself, but it's hard to not do it. Like I know that's what my feeling right now. I just got back from tour and we're doing gigs here and there, but I'm still like itching for that weird validation. Like I was never a cool kid, so I really feel like that was my window to like feel cool.
Totally.
Yeah,
hey, dude, you're a fucking cool motherfucker.
Oh man, I'm not cool. I
Hey,
try.
you're a cool motherfucker.
Look at my hair. People can see my hair is fucking not cool. It's like 90s fucking undercut shit. When you go on tour, man, what do you tell your kids? What are you gonna tell them? Because George is old enough now to know
George
what's up.
knows what I do. George knows what I do, and he summed it up best. George was sitting with Stacy somewhere, and I was out on a short run, and Stacy asked, like, or George was like, "Where's Dad?" Because he has like the fucking memory of a goldfish and doesn't know if it's Monday, and yesterday could have been like 4 months ago. He has no idea what time is.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, for the 18th time, like, "Where's Dad?" And Mom will, like, we call, when I go into town for band practice or any band stuff, it's called work.
Mm-hmm.
He understands that I go to work.
Hmm.
So we call band stuff work. So she's like, "Well, he's at work." And he goes out and he plays songs for people. And George knows Raffi.
Mm-hmm.
So George digs on Raffi like I dig on fucking like first two Helmet records. Like he fucking loves it, man. Like he's just like, "Oh God, fuck, down by the bay."
Getting Raffi shirts and shit.
Oh, down by the bay.
Baby Beluga, isn't that Raffi?
Oh fuck yeah, definitely, right? So Stacy says he's playing music, and then George in his mind just said, it evolved into this, "Oh, Dad is playing music for sad people so they can dance." And I was like, well, I mean, I don't know, like, should I write a little doom gloom? So perhaps we are inviting a more sort of like, sort of more morose listener, let's say. But yeah, Dad is playing music for sad people so they can dance.
That's beautiful.
That's what I do in a nutshell.
That's nice, man.
So he understands it, and he understands that I play songs for people.
That's cool, man. That's like, for a little kid, I would think that's like, oh, Dad's helping people, not like Dad's leading me.
Oh yeah, he never thinks that, and I'm lucky that way, I think, because he's not a really sort of dire emotional kid. Like he can be emotional, but he's never like well, I should say preface that with Dad. Like Mom, he's still like,
yeah, it would make sense. Like she's been at
still
home
a
for
young guy,
3 years
right?
with him, right? Yeah, for sure.
But he never misses me like it's terrible.
Mm-hmm.
He's happy to see me. That's all I need.
Oh, and we can FaceTime and shit like that. Like it's not like 15 years ago or whatever.
Oh my God, when I'm in Europe, he's gonna talk. It's gonna be like I've never left, because again, he doesn't understand distance. Like he knows where Africa is because he loves like animals and stuff, but other than that, he doesn't know where Dad's going at all.
Is this the
You
longest?
can tell me where every dinosaur was from in Europe, though. Like what dinosaur was from what part of Europe? Easily.
That's, man, there's definitely, I'm going to hopefully get back on track here, but I just was thinking about with social media and everyone posting their kids stuff, I can't help but be like, well, my kid's here and there and this and that. Compare your little guy, man, listening to him, like, that's a dinosaur. I've never heard of that dinosaur. And he's ringing it off. Like, it's kind of crazy, man.
It's pretty weird.
It's my little guy's not doing that, man. He's not.
Oh, I know. And yeah, with stuff like that, you're kind of thinking like, is there like a specialist in our future somewhere? Like, are we going to a special place maybe? Or I don't know. Is that just how some 3-year-olds are? Like that's the whole wild part of being a parent. Like all this crazy stuff happens where this kid can pronounce a 4-syllable fucking Latin-based,
Yeah.
name of a fucking dinosaur that I've never even heard of.
Yeah,
Like,
I know. It's weird. Yeah, you have, oh, Jesus, we both have, like, the rest of our lives to see what these little dudes are going to do.
exactly. Oh, God. And that's the exciting part, right? Because I can pretty much tell you I know how my life will fizzle out. But George,
Fizzle out.
like, oh my God, and Charlie, like, I get to follow that shit. I'm 45, so I mean, am I really going to be doing this when I'm 50? I mean, I don't know. Check out this hairline. It's pretty sick.
Yeah, it's pretty
Got a good
solid,
hairline.
man. Hell yeah.
So, I mean,
You're good.
maybe as long as the hair is
Yeah.
kind of still there, I could be a fucking hard rocker.
Make a little mark, and it's like, that's
I
what
know
it's
it. Yeah, I should get one tattooed. Like as soon as you can see the tattoo, it's like,
done.
sorry, I gotta quit. Can't jump around stage like an idiot. Oh wait, no, just physically can't jump around
Yeah,
stage.
I literally can't lift this 810 anymore. We're done.
I have a great story for you too.
All right, go.
Unless you have a pressing question.
No. We're just chatting.
Okay.
I have a few things, but it doesn't matter. It's nice to
So I have like I have aches and pains.
Mm-hmm.
Like normal aches and pains, I would think. But I've been rough on my body, skateboarding, being an idiot, touring, not treating myself well.
Mm-hmm.
But I have this lower back and like hip pain for quite a while. My knees are shot. So the pain in my hip was so bad for so long recently that I actually went to the doctor and I was like, it's kind of weird. It hasn't been this bad.
Hmm.
And they're like, okay, well, maybe get some x-rays just in case.
Mm-hmm.
So I got some x-rays and I have like advanced osteoarthritis in my
Jesus,
left hip.
dude.
Do you know what that means?
No.
I'm getting a hip replacement.
What? Jesus, man.
So this is an entirely rock and roll thing, right? A hip replacement.
Fuck, man.
So I'm on a, it's not going to happen tomorrow or anything because you have to get on this. I'm seeing a specialist and then I get on a list or whatever. But
Huh.
getting a hip replacement.
Wow, man, that's like I was telling someone about how we're at the point. Like I'm gonna be 35. You're 45.
Yeah.
So I'm getting to the point where little aches and pains. People are getting older. People are dying. It's like a weird time in life. Like, thankfully, I have a kid to kind of like grow with and have positivity through that. But it's that type of shit's coming. Like, it's coming. Obviously, it's there for you. Like a hip replacement. Like, imagine telling that to yourself 10 years ago. It's crazy to even hear now. But it's my friends are getting to that point where I'm hearing that from my friends.
Yeah, man. Remember when it was crazy when your friends were just having kids?
Yeah.
Then it's crazy when like your friends are like, having to get old man surgeries.
Fuck, dude. Well, shit. How bad is it?
So I'm lucky that I'm I'm an arms guy. Right?
Well, yeah.
You had to get a hip replacement.
Well, dude,
That would be like would be a lot of recoup to be able to
fuck.
have those fast legs again.
My left hip has been, honest to God, since Tay's been born, for maybe the last 2 years has been acting up. And today, I shifted my weight, and I was like, I can't really walk right now.
Stretch. You know to stretch.
I don't stretch,
oh,
man.
God.
I don't do anything.
You gotta stretch.
Fuck.
Stretching is like I get up every day and I have a half an hour. I don't care what's happening. Kids are flying all over the house. There's like a fecal poetry, from somebody's diaper. I mean, it doesn't matter what's going on. I do a half hour of my stretches. I have to. You've got to stretch. So this is turning into this one of these weird things, but your audience has to stretch too. We all have to stretch. It's the key. Serious. That's all I'll say about that.
No, I think about that though, man. Like, cause the hip hurts, and I'm like, okay, that's my hi-hat leg. So if that's fucked up, that's not so bad.
I know. It's like the,
I know. Yeah. I need to do something.
If it's in your right hip, then you need to fucking deal with it.
Yeah. Well, that's just it. It's not really crucial. Like, I can still play. It doesn't hurt when I play. It's just when I kind of wake up. But I'll take your advice. I need to fucking start
One day you're gonna be 40, and then the next day you're gonna be 45, and you're gonna be still playing extreme metal.
I know. No, like
who knows? And if you are, then you need to fucking take care of your body.
So why is it your hip? Like, I'm surprised.
It's you know what?
Stomping? You do a lot of stomping.
Well, I do some stomping, and like I'm pretty active. But I think what it is, though, it's falling from skateboarding might have something to do with it, but it really is it just happens to people, and they don't really know why. It just happens. And mine got undiagnosed for so long because I never went to doctors for anything, and I always just lived with aches and pains. I've always just had them, you know. Oh, I got a bad back. Oh, no, I have a bad hip. But I didn't think it was bad hip. Like, I have no cartilage. It's just bone into the socket, just rubbing and just... God, it's the worst. So I'm going to get a cortisone shot before I go to Europe. That's one good thing.
So that'll help?
So that'll take care of me for about 6 months.
Huh. Well, shit. Let's talk about Europe for a bit, man.
Maybe...
My question... Huh? Go ahead.
Sorry, no, I'm just thinking maybe... tour in Europe with a cane? That's pretty classy.
That's pretty nice. Like snake one with the snake head.
Ooh, like jewel encrusted.
Yeah, and something like it comes out like a knife or something.
Oh yeah.
You know,
oh, it's gotta have a sword.
It's got to be a bison head. There you go. And you can sell them on the merch table. Bison
Holy
canes.
shit! Okay, just let me write that down.
Like handcrafted bison canes. Like
yeah, we'll have $100 cane on the merch table.
Yeah,
that'll go over well.
Yeah, with the knife in it. Yeah, that'll go fine when you go through customs. But yeah, even to way back when we were just talking about money in the band, and like so I love that you guys won't ever do the States again.
That's fucking the truth.
As far as like the
Maybe
cost of it.
when they get a different government in.
Yeah. Well, it's so expensive too, man. Fuck.
But I don't know. Are we gonna talk about that for a bit, or?
Yeah, go nuts.
Okay, so I mean, you know, we have lovely people in the United States, and we have fans there, and we have good friends, you know, and it's nothing personal to them, but it's sort of like you get tired of it, right? You get tired of the United States being this destination for art and music, and this sort of feeling that you can't fulfill yourself unless you are able to do well in the States or tour the States. And I got kind of sick of that idea when I live in a great country that loves music. And then we have Europe that love music on a different level than Canadians or Americans do. You know, in a completely different level. So, I mean, you know, you get tired of being treated like garbage at the border. You get tired of being so unwelcome right off the bat, right? And I find as I get older and older, when I still am looked at as somebody who's doing some kind of illicit thing by bringing music into their country, you kind of get to a point where, you know, I'm paying a lot of money to do this too, right? I'm just not going to do it anymore. I'm going to act like it comes down to sort of like exercising. The only thing I can do to protest that, because I'm nobody. Bison is nobody in the States. So it's not like I can make a big stink about it. The only way I can protest that is I'm just not going to pay the Department of Homeland Security thousands of dollars to go tour in their country with, and especially if any of that money is going to find its way into fucking that, I'm not even going to say his name, that president's fucking pocket at all. Like, I just refuse to do it.
Well, you've done it. You guys have done so much touring, and there's
done
like,
enough.
Yeah, nothing to prove, and it goes back to just like at this point, you gotta what makes
zero
sense.
to prove.
Yeah, what makes sense financially, and then also like what's gonna be fun. Like I love that you guys are going to Europe. It's gonna be fucking fun.
It's gonna be awesome.
God damn it, man!
Absolutely, it's gonna be awesome.
And you're doing it with another band, right?
Yeah, we're taking this band from Copenhagen called LLNN. They're fucking awesome.
You guys do Roadburn too.
Yeah, we're doing Roadburn. Oh, fuck. We're doing Roadburn.
Is that the first time
great.
doing Roadburn?
That's the first time doing Roadburn, and we're doing Desert Fest in London. We're doing a bunch of good, cool festivals on this tour.
Wow.
And it's just like, you know, it not only does it make sense, it's a huge investment. Like, when you look at it on paper, you're kind of like, wow, it costs a lot of money to go to Europe.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, the return is people go to shows.
Mm-hmm.
So you are going to get the ticket sales. People also want to support your band. Like, granted, we've been to Europe for 3 or 4 times before. People dig us there for sure. People buy T-shirts and they want to support a band. People will buy your record on vinyl and CD so they can have the CD in their car, or when they're driving around, they can have the record at home. You know what I mean? Like, that's how they think. They're not afraid to support a band, you know? And everyone likes all kinds of music. So it's not just, you're not just, like, playing in front of a bunch of, like, denim vests or whatever. You're playing in front of people that are, like, have just gotten off work, and there's businessmen there, and there's, you know, all kinds of people. It's like a larger demographic that appreciate music because it's music. So a lot of people are there just because it's music.
Yeah.
Like, you go and look at art. You don't just go look at one type of art.
Yeah.
You go look at art because it might speak to you and it might not. So that's how a lot of Europeans, in my experience, treat music. Even like what other people would call like extreme types of music, like what I play and what you play.
Why do you think that is? I always wonder, like, why do they take care of musicians so much better there? Even if it's a dog shit show, they still treat you nice.
Because they've lived longer. Because they've lived longer. They've been countries longer. They've been bombed. They've been destroyed. They've been enslaved. They've been fucked over and gone through so much hell. Whereas us here, you know, as like settlers, not really. You know, America had the Civil War, but you know, I don't know. We've had our little. Yeah. We haven't had the history that Europe has had, and that you know brings about it makes you act sort of like more of a grown up, like you're just more worldly, you just have a better understanding, right? More mature, like it just makes you a better human being. You live through that kind of stuff.
Makes sense. Yeah, it does make sense. It's a bummer that it doesn't happen more here, but
I know. Well, you know, we could be getting bombed.
Yeah,
soon.
yeah.
So
Jesus,
maybe after that, we'll probably kind of get our heads out of our asses and realize what's really important. Because you realize what's really important. Enjoying life, music, art, freedom, you know, stuff like that. That's what's important. Man, so I think we're so insulated here. We just keep on like wanting to have things.
I hear you, dude. I hear you, man. It translates directly to even as simple as people bitching about a $5 show. It's like, it's a $5 show. You should be paying $15 for the caliber of bands tonight, please.
Dude, I'm like, you look at the world, and so you know we don't play $5 shows anymore, but. We're playing a show with us and 2 other fantastic bands that have worked very hard and to create this music and have dedicated their lives to it. We're playing a $20 show for 3 bands that have just are so full of love and respect for their audience and just like, you know, come on. People buy a $20 fucking 6-pack, man.
Yeah.
Like, I just refuse to believe that some sort of like a ticket price is gonna inhibit people, because people's priorities are traditionally just very selfish. So they want more and more and more. I remember going to shows when I was younger, and I was fucking poor as shit when I first moved to Vancouver, and I would go and I'd pay the door, and I wouldn't have any money for beer. But that wouldn't stop me from going to the show. Oh, I'd rather have a 6-pack than go to the show. Like, fuck no. You got to decide whether you love music or not. And then if you love music, you got to support it.
That's a big thing, man.
Right? It's the end.
Yeah. Yeah, and even there's a guy here in Cambridge who's doing shows. He's got a kid who's probably like 9 or 10, and he's like trying to show his kid like I gotta pass the torch. Like we have to support our peers because there's no real money in this, and even really like a show like this, talking to friends, is just sort of perpetuating the idea that this shit's important. Like Tay, he's gonna do whatever he's gonna do, but in my heart of hearts, I want him to do music for sure. I want him to like experience this, and every episode I talk about this, but I want him to do that. But unless there are promoters and people, and I really feel like dudes aging doing music is important to not give up on it, because it just shows that like I feel successful right now. Like the band's doing shows and we're making money and paying for stuff, and you have 2 kids, you're going to Europe. Like it's important.
You're not in a deficit. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, it's important to continue on and not give up. And did you ever want to give up? Did you ever like have a moment?
No.
Like, never.
No, I'm one of those people where I'm like, there are changes that come, and it kind of bums me out because I get attached to people. But I mean, I know it has to happen, right? And I know that I surround myself with people that if it can't happen, it's for a fucking good reason. Like, I surround myself with people that are doing it because they love it and really want to do it, because you have to make things work sometimes, as you know, right? It takes a bit of time. So you have to have people like that. So it's, it's not only just me, it's the people that are around me. Like, they give me the fucking courage and strength to do things.
So you never, not like met some tour where it was like, this is just where, never. Wow, man.
Never. I've been in some garbage situations, and like garbage situations where we're like, oh fuck, this is the worst. Or other situations where, holy fuck, if we don't do this, it's over. These types of situations. And I could sort of touch on one where you were privy to. We were planning this Europe trip for a while, and then one of the members just at the last minute just wasn't able to do it, right? So we all family obligations. So family obligations came up in a super hard way for our drummer, Matt, and he just wasn't able to do it. And it was the hard.
Of course, Facebook's taking a shit.
Told me this, obviously I was like, oh, fuck. But immediately what I thought was, well, this has to happen. Like, it's not going to happen. Like, there wasn't a moment where I thought it wasn't going to happen. So I think there's a kind of a loyalty and faith that you have to your creativity and your music that will just make you go the extra mile, because, as I said, it's only exists if other people see it and other people really experience it. Like, we had put out an album, people liked it, and that's that. But we need people to see it in person. So there's this sort of thing in me that it had to happen. Like, there's just no way it was not going to happen. So, as you know, I put out a call. I just put out a call to all my respected musician friends who are drummers, and and we figured it out eventually. And which is still top secret.
Yeah, well.
So I mean, it's done. And it was stressful and it was heart-wrenching. But also, it's sort of like with any thing that is worth a fucking damn, it takes work. And sometimes that work is painful. But that's what makes it, once you get on the other side of that pain, it's like the best. Once we had all that shit back in line, like, it was just like the best feeling ever, right?
Yeah. Well,
nothing is going to stop us. Nothing is going to fucking stop us.
It's just fucking, any older dudes who are still doing it, and like, I've been slowly becoming your guys' buds over the year, and I love it because it's just like,
Absolutely.
okay, like, it just gives me something to look forward to, and I know it must give other people too. Like, and it's not the sad old rocker guy, you know. I think you're a great example of a happy old hip replacement rocker guy.
Fucking A, man. I am. It's great, and that's a good point, right? Because you have this sort of like these extremes, right? Like, you play music, and either you start off with like playing underground music and blah blah blah, and you become like huge, or you become like Anvil. You know what I mean? Like, there's only two ways to end up. You become huge, or no, maybe there's three ways, or you become like cult stat. So like, so let's say there's like Mastodon is like the fucking huge arena rock from nothing.
Yeah.
Then we have like Anvil, who like are just kind of been doing it for a long time, and some people might view it as a little bit sort of forced and a little sad after a while. Yeah. I don't. I think fucking keep on going. I don't give a fuck. And then there's the cult. So there's like Melvins who have been doing it forever, and they still do it. And you know what? They can put out garbage record after garbage record, but people are still gonna fucking buy it and force themselves to like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's a little bit more. There are different outcomes now that I think are acceptable, and I think one of the outcomes are a band like BISON, who is still doing it and doing it with all the same love and passion, but integrating the other things that we love, like our families, and being part of a steady, rock-solid community. Because community is what the future is about, as we know. If we don't have community, the world will fucking end. Yeah. You need to be part of your home community.
Yeah.
That's where it's starting now. That's where every change for the rest of life is happening. Within people's communities. There's no worldwide change anymore. It's community-based. So you need to be part of your community. That's why you can't be on the road. Well, that's why I can't be on the road all the time, because I need my community to be strong.
Yeah. Well,
and I need to be a part of it.
Yeah. For the little ones coming up.
Fucking A. For me. Yeah.
There's I think about, now that you're like, you know, surrounded by love and kids and, you know, family life, stressful, this and that. But is it easier or harder to write kind of aggressive music now that you're surrounded by like love and in a safe environment?
No, because it has nothing to do with it. Like the aggressive music or the attitude or the ideas that come with making that music, with the content and the ideas that go along with it and the feelings I want to put into the songs, don't come from, you know, they don't necessarily come from like in my brain. They come from what I see around me. So even though I have this beautiful family and like seemingly comfortable life, like I've consistently said with this last record, I wrote it in my, you know, my what I call my office.
Yeah.
You know, and it's super cozy and it's mine, and you know, I can just sit here and play guitar and get drunk and, you know, sneak by the kids' room and crawl into bed. You know, I mean, it's comfy.
Yeah.
But I still wrote You Are Not the Ocean in here, and it's a
gnarly record.
It's still a gnarly record because the world still fucking sucks. The world is still full of imperfection, and the world is still a degrading kind of scary place that, for some reason, that's what I am interested in exploring. But I can now explore it from a very safe place, which I think makes it easier for me to really explore it. Like, that's why I think that this album is sort of the darkest record we've written. And because I have a lifeline here. So before I would write and I would get super into it and I'd get heady, and then I'd be like alone in our jam spot, like fucking wasted, like trying to, you know, I mean, it was just like, it was almost like, you know, I felt like I was an addict to this sort of like moroseness. Now it's sort of like I can concentrate on it and pinpoint and sort of like have clear ideas of what I want to present. I have well thought out, clear ideas, and which means clearer compositions and clear arrangements and better music, I think.
Wow, yeah.
Because I just think that the last record we made is just like a clearer, better record than anything we've done. And it's because I had this, you know, because I wasn't alone and fucking just, for me, that doesn't work. Because if I'm alone and fucking depressed, then I just fucking, I say fuck it, and I'm fucking wasted, and I mean, I'm not putting down our past content because I love it, and I feel very attached to it, but this record was just new in that way, and it has everything to do with my family.
Yeah.
Which is love. This record came out of complete love. You know?
Yeah, well, it's almost like you were sitting in the fires, but you had a fire protectant suit to be
There
able to
you
sit
go.
in the fire. And
Absolutely, right? I mean, and that way you can delve even deeper, because I know someone is going to fucking pull me out. So there's no fear of like anything. It was fearless. So I could really examine this thing, because to really understand it, you keep it separate and you study it. That way you can study it, understand it, and then step out of it and heal yourself right away.
Yeah.
Because all I have to do is hang out with George for 2 seconds, and
yeah.
you're like, oh, right.
Yeah.
We're destroying the world. Oh, but George will fix it.
Yeah, man, that's really cool. That's a really cool take to hear on the record, because I picture you in your office, right? Like writing this record and maybe being interrupted to feed the kids or this and that, because the record like crushes, and it's heavy and it's sad and it's like dark and mean, and it's kind of hard to picture that coming from like that place. But I was interested to see how you kind of came up with it. To me,
it's like the new beginnings, and I see like bands that are up and coming and younger, and they're really trying to live the lifestyle, and they're really trying to, like, they have to live the lifestyle to be able to, you know, write this kind of gnarly content and stuff like that, where I'm like, you know, even back then you just need a better understanding of the world, which a 25-year-old just doesn't have very often, right? David Bowie maybe did when he was 25.
Yeah.
Iggy Pop probably had like this sort of heightened, you know, like these types of people. But that's not a very common occurrence, right?
Yeah.
So it's sort of like you just gotta fucking cool it, because it's not, you don't have to, like, no one has to be Phil Lynott, you know, like not everyone can be Phil Lynott, and not everyone can be like fucking, you know, Sid Vicious or whoever, right? I mean, and you don't really need to be, and it's actually just kind of sad when that gets to you, and then we have people like, you know, fucking Elliott Smith or Kurt Cobain or countless people that end their lives too early because they just get into something that they can't fucking deal with, right?
Yeah.
As long as you have, I mean, I'm sorry, I'm harping on this, but like community, man, and like that's exactly what will heal the fucking planet. So I want my music to be intense and, you know, gnarly and heavy and menacing, but it is also designed to bring people together, and I think it transcends just, you know, people that want to like headbang and smash things. Like it's sort of like cathartic response. I mean, it's also a probably universal response to a lot that's going on in the world that normally people wouldn't have had that response. People are angrier now. People are angrier. They are questioning, and they are seeing the darker side of what they perhaps normally would have just sort of like, you know, just kind of coasted by. You know, people are recognizing this now.
I think, talking about community, I think what you guys represent, man, is really that community. Like older dudes still doing it, still making good music, and really when some people could easily say like, oh, we don't have to do this anymore. You guys still do it, and it's kind of a flagship to a scene. There's bands that do that, right? And the record like is really fucking good, man. And like,
Thanks. Yeah, it's good.
As like an outsider, you know, you guys, at least for me, represent a lot of important stuff for me, which is calming and inspiring and hopeful and even on the other side of it, even as a dad, you know, even like both of us, any dads, any people who are good people who are trying, you know what I mean? Because it's not easy to have a kid and it's not easy to work and
It's not.
I get it why people don't. There's a fear to like having it and all the stuff that comes with it. And we're like still in the easy stages, you know? Like our kids aren't hanging with other shitty kids or good kids and shitty parents and fuck, man, like we're like at the best part right now.
Oh God, yeah, absolutely.
But
sorry, I just have this thing. I've got
okay.
this message from work. Just give me 2 seconds.
Yeah, no sweat. I'm just gonna pause this. Just make sure this is still recording. It's been like an hour, so I was gonna actually pull this plug because it is 1:45 and I should go to sleep.
You probably should.
I don't know what I was saying, but yeah, right now is a good time. But it's just James, for real, man, fucking just rad. You guys put out a great record. You guys are gonna tour, and you know, it's just like, it's really rad, man. It's just really like I don't know what else to say, rad, but cool. But it's just fun to catch up to.
Absolutely, and you know what? I want to be able to portray that, you know, playing music is not all about being young and thin and good looking, and you know, like, you are only as good as the songs you write. And I know far more bands that are young and are writing garbage fucking music but have like a good looking face, you know, than bands that like really put out quality music as they, you know, I mean, it's, if I can inspire people to attain that sort of like standard and not fucking care about trends and seasons, and because it's all the music industry is about, and it's garbage and people shouldn't listen to it, and fucking who cares? Play music because you love it, and people will see that and they will love it.
You know what's fucking rad, and I think you know him, is Mark from Toronto. He plays in Quiet Earth. This young kid who named his band after the Bison album. He's with Mark Tremblay. He's with a college radio in Toronto.
Okay.
But just, it was like so beautiful. Just like this young dude. I've known him for a couple of years now because he comes to shows and interviews us. He's like, I started this band. Oh, what is it called? Quiet Earth. Oh, dope. We played with them the other day. He's wearing a Bison shirt. It's just like, this is so amazing. So rad.
Oh, that's cool.
But fuck yeah,
well,
dude.
tell him I say hi. He's a good kid.
Yeah. Say, I'll rub his head and be like, that's from James.
Come on, let's give him a noogie. You little scamp.
Pinch his cheek.
Keep it up.
I wanted to do the Hibzine thing, which is just I'll play some music, and I'll do it after, but I wanted to play Tantrum, if that's cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Fuck yeah.
I'll put that in here. This is Tantrum off the You Are Not the Ocean, You Are the Patient, right? I said that right?
That's right.
Off the Bison record, right here. Woman's Tantrum. Word, man. Fuck. So do people go to the label to get it or through you guys, or what's the best way to grab the record?
The best way is through the label, but we also have like some, the label's German. So there's that whole thing where you have to spend like a lot of money to get it from Germany. But I know that they have North American distribution.
Okay.
So just go to plagicrecords.com, find us on there, and it'll instruct you accordingly.
Okay. I can put all the descriptions in the link too.
Yeah.
So
Cool, man.
Cool. Yeah. Well, cool. James, thank you, man.
Fucking A, man.
Yes, we
Always
did
a
it.
pleasure.
We fucking
Steve,
did it.
always a pleasure. Love talking to you.
Yeah. We'll do another one with
Whatever.
Muskie, maybe in person if we're ever out that way.
That would be nice.
That would be nice, but we won't record it.
Come
We're
out
just
this
gonna.
way.
Yeah, I hope, man. Hopefully, I don't know when or how, but someday.
Yeah, we have a guest room. Like my office turns into a guest room.
Okay,
So.
cool. I'll just bring
We're here for you.
me, Viv, and Tay. And likewise, if you guys are out this way, you have a place to crash.
Fucking A, man.
Okay, man. Thank you. This will be up in a couple weeks. I'll just let you know
Yeah,
when
just
it's up.
shoot me a message.
Cool. But yeah, thanks, man. Thanks a lot, James. I'll
Absolutely.
tell the kids
My
I say
pleasure.
hi, and I'll do the same.
Same.
All right. Peace, my man.
See you, pal.
Bye-bye.
Peace.
All right. That was rad. Fuck. I guess I'll close this off. I didn't really want to close it with James on. I felt like a weenie having him have to sit through all the fucking sponsors because I know it took a long time at the beginning. But this is Take Her Wide, guys. 213 with James from Bison. If obviously if you're listening, you are a subscriber, but it would be really, really cool if people could tell their friends and it'd be dope to see a little spike in the downloads, if I can be honest. But nonetheless, it's really great that people listen. And I don't know. Let me just shoot off the sponsors. This is brought to you by DaveLevittPhotography.ca for the promos. Kevin Rigo at Hefner Toyota in Kitchener. If you want to buy a car, go there. Trust him. I trust him. I trust him with my life. So go trust him with your money. Ironclad Graphics, that is in Kingston. They do shirts and t-shirts, same thing. Hoodies, koozies, toques, whatever. I've been using them for years, super solid. And even though they're in Kingston, with shipping, it's still pretty affordable. And if you mention the podcast, you'll get $25 off. So go do that. Also, Wellington Brewery with the Grisette beer, which donates 25 cents from each can to the Guelph Wellington Women in Crisis. And am I forgetting anyone? Wellington, Rigo. Oh, dapperbeardoil.com. For your beard oil needs, use Take Her Wide, free ship for the free shipping. The Instagram is still going with old episodes, and rate and review if you guys can. That'd be dope. And I don't know what else, man. That's it. This is Take Her Wide. Thank you guys.